Well, that's right, Natasha. The 7th and the 8th of August have been set aside for closing arguments from the state and the defense. Really, that will be the last push for both of them, basically the state and the defense, to put through their case. While the defense closing its case today, it believes after 16 witnesses that in a case that's been in its 5th month that they've put their best case forward, and that they might have succeeded in persuading this court that Oscar Pistorius should not be held criminally responsible for shooting and killing Reeva SteenKamp. But certainly it has been a trial that has dominated both headlines here locally and internationally, and certainly the focus now is on those closing arguments. And after that, some time will also be set aside. The case will be postponed again to allow for Judge Thokozile Masipa to make her ruling on this particular issue. But of course, just to give us a bit more on the defense's case and whether they've actually succeeded in putting their best foot forward in the Oscar Pistorius murder trial, I'm chatting now to Mr. Llewellyn Curlewis, Dr. Llewellyn Curlewis, of course, who is our law expert joining us here on the SABC. Dr. Curlewis, thanks for your time once again. First of all, has the defense succeeded in putting their best case forward?
Well, obviously they've put their best foot forward because they've got only one chance and one opportunity, and they at least tried to do so. Remember, ultimately, they don't have any onus of proof on their side. The onus of proof is always on the state. The only question Barry Rue and the defense must ask themselves is whether they have a reasonable case before court, because if their version is reasonably possibly true, they must get the benefit of the doubt where the court is in doubt. So obviously the onus of proof on the state, nothing for the defense to prove in actual fact.
But there were many challenges for the defense, of course, issues of credibility, police bungling here and there. But what do you think are some of the key challenges in addition to the ones that I've mentioned that the defense faced?
Well, there are quite a number. Obviously, one can identify a lot of discrepancies in their version. There was a lot of contradictions in Oscar Pistorius' own version. Ultimately, I think he was the defense best witness because ultimately he was the only person on the scene that night. So whatever followed after his evidence should have been in corroboration to his version. And one must ask yourself whether those witnesses are so credible that they actually supported his version one way or another. Oscar Pistorius' own version, in my mind, had a lot of discrepancies, contradictions. He amended his version on a number of occasions, and those are the kind of issues that are key for the defense, and they will have to address those in their heads of arguments.
Just very quickly, we heard Advocate Barry Rue also allude to the fact that he could not call several of the witnesses. They did not want their voices even heard on television. So certainly the element of the interest in this trial, the broadcast of it, probably some of the witnesses running scared?
That might be one reason, but the other reason could be that was a last-minute effort for him to create some sense of sympathy toward Oscar Pistorius. Remember, the Criminal Procedure Act makes provision for those witnesses that's unwilling to come and testify. A court can actually compel those witnesses, whether they like it or not, to come and testify in the interest of justice where it needs to be done.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Llewellyn Curlewis there. Certainly the next couple of weeks will be crucial when we're back again on the 7th and the 8th of August for those closing arguments. But certainly that does mean that Oscar Pistorius is a little bit closer to knowing his fate. Back to you in studio.
Right, Criselda Lewis live from the Oscar Pistorius trial, which has been postponed to the 7th of August. She was coming live from the North Gauteng High Court.